You want to be a star, don't you? Then take it off! Yeah.
Rachel Zegler's public nightmare just took another brutal turn, with Family Guy joining the growing list of shows taking shots at her and the Snow White disaster. According to Hollywood insiders, Family Guy's writers are completely shrugging off any potential backlash over their savage Snow White parody, defending themselves with a simple "we're just telling jokes" stance.
Chris, that's going in the show. See that, Brian? Don't be afraid to pull a heartstring.
No apologies, no walkbacks, just unapologetic mockery of Rachel, Disney, and everything surrounding this mess.
Well, that's what they get for supporting Israel. Yuck, yuck, yuck.
The timing couldn't be worse for Rachel, still reeling from South Park's merciless Pandaverse special and The Simpsons' snow woke jab. She now finds herself roasted yet again with Family Guy's signature brand of loud, chaotic, no-filter humor. And according to chatter inside the animation world, the writers have no plans to slow down.
So much fun it should be illegal. Like copyright infringement. Ho-ho! See you at the game, Joel!
If anything, they feel even more emboldened after seeing the wave of audience support for their Disney takedown in one of the most talked-about scenes. Family Guy mocked Disney's struggles with a roller coaster labeled Disney stock plummeting into the abyss, while Peter Griffin looks on baffled. Another gag captured the cultural whiplash perfectly. Peter, confused about character's identity, shouting, "What is everything?" A line that exploded into a viral meme within hours.
Wow, that girl's hot.
That's a guy.
That other guy's handsome.
That's a girl.
That cat is cute.
That's a dog.
What is everything?
And Rachel Zegler, without even being named directly, became the living embodiment of everything being criticized. Sources close to production say the Family Guy team sees the backlash around Rachel not as something to avoid, but as proof they hit the target. They reportedly believe they're channeling what a massive part of the audience feels, but hasn't seen reflected in mainstream media: frustration, exhaustion, and anger at constant reboots and lectures. Dressed up as entertainment for Rachel, it's another devastating blow when even shows like Family Guy, the kings of unapologetic mockery, start treating your downfall as comedy gold. It's not just a rough moment, it's a cultural lock and a signal that the jokes aren't going away anytime soon. It wasn't supposed to be this way. Rachel Zegler's career was built for a fairy tale ending, handpicked by Steven Spielberg, praised for her breakout performance in West Side Story, and chosen to star in Disney's live-action Snow White. Everything pointed toward her becoming Hollywood's next unstoppable Alice Dister. But somewhere between the press tours, the interviews, and the mounting cultural backlash, the dream twisted into a very public nightmare. Insiders say Rachel has become something far harsher than a movie star. She's become the symbol of everything audiences feel is wrong with modern Hollywood. It didn't happen all at once. At first, it was small things, awkward comments about how the 1937 Snow White was weird, how the prince was a stalker, how her version would be about leadership and self-empowerment instead of love. There were sound bites that might have passed unnoticed in another era, but in today's media ecosystem already primed for outrage over endless reboots and forced moral lectures, the clips caught fire. TikTok stitched them into viral memes. YouTube critics dissected every word. Fans who once eagerly lined up for Disney magic started asking a much harder question: do they even like the stories they're remaking anymore? Rachel quickly found herself at the center of that cultural storm, not because she single-handedly caused it, but because she became the face of it. A talented actress caught in a perfect storm of bad timing, corporate overreach, and exhausted audiences who were tired of being scolded instead of entertained. When Family Guy decided to take aim at Disney's Snow White disaster, they didn't just land a few soft punches, they unleashed a full comedy blitzkrieg. And according to insiders close to the animation world, Disney executives were blindsided by how precise and devastating the mockery turned out to be. The first shot was almost elegant in its simplicity. In one scene, Peter Griffin wanders through Disneyland confused and bewildered, but the real punchline wasn't what he said, it was what the audience saw in the background. A roller coaster labeled Disney stock plummets downward in a free fall, no subtlety, just a vicious visual reminder that Disney's golden age might be collapsing, and an endless parade of Imagine classics was part of the crash. Then came the identity confusion gag. Peter watches television commenting, "Wow, that girl is hot." His friend corrects him, "That's a boy." It happens again and again until Peter, thoroughly confused and overwhelmed, shouts, "What is everything?" A line that exploded into a viral meme almost instantly across social media. Everyone sees on it because it wasn't just funny, it felt true. It captured the cultural whiplash viewers have been feeling: rapid redefinitions, relentless reinventions, endless identity rewrites, all while Hollywood expects unquestioning applause. Before Family Guy even sharpened their knives, South Park had already launched a missile straight at Disney and at Rachel Zegler. By proxy, they're joining the Pandaverse special, wasn't just a roast, it was a full-scale scorched earth dismantling of the entire formula that had dragged Disney's reputation into freefall, and the special character based on Kathleen Kennedy, the Disney executive often blamed for the company's recent failures, is handed a mystical artifact called a panda stone, an object that compels her to insert diverse women into every franchise regardless of story context or audience connection. The message wasn't subtle. South Park's most devastating blow came when their Kathleen Kennedy, standing proudly, declared the now infamous line, "Put a chick in it and make her gay." That single sentence became an instant viral sensation, summing up every tired reboot and hollow representation. Players at the animated takedowns weren't enough. A real-world moment sealed Disney's humiliation further. At a public panel discussion, George Lucas was asked about Disney's handling of Star Wars after he sold his beloved franchise to them. Smiling slightly, Lucas made a passing remark about how things had changed, how certain decisions didn't exactly match his original vision. The audience laughed nervously at first, then harder when they realized Lucas wasn't being subtle. It wasn't a rage-filled takedown. It didn't need to be. The message was crystal clear. Even Lucas, the man who had once trusted Disney, couldn't help but acknowledge the disappointment for Disney executives already scrambling to control the Snow White backlash. Insiders say Lucas's little jab was a brutal reminder of what they had lost: not just fans or box office supremacy, but trust and cultural credibility. And once that credibility cracks, no amount of marketing can patch it back together. The awkward laughter spread faster than any official Disney trailer, and for Rachel Zegler, it was another devastating shift in the narrative. She wasn't just facing backlash from upset fans, she was starring in a disaster that was now symbolic of a much larger rot inside the castle. As if the fallout from Snow White wasn't enough, insiders now say Disney's next major live-action gamble is already under siege, with Rachel Zegler's name at the center of it. According to multiple leaks and speculative reports, Disney is eyeing Rachel to lead their upcoming live-action remake of Tangled. And if fan reactions are anything to go by, the backlash has already begun before a single frame has even been shot. The numbers alone are jaw-dropping. Tangled is reportedly shaping up to be Disney's most expensive live-action remake yet, with estimates topping $500 million. 0 cents one production and marketing are factored in. That's $500 million riding on the hope that audiences still smarting from Snow White's implosion will buy into another reimagined classic. But early fan sentiment suggests Disney is about to walk straight into another buzzsaw. Social media exploded the moment Rachel's rumored attachment hit the news cycle. Hashtags like "Not My Rapunzel" and "Save Tangled" started trending within hours. Comment sections filled with exhausted pleas. Can't we just leave one Disney princess alone? And why does everything need to be modernized? The frustration isn't just about Rachel personally. Insiders say it's about what she now represents to a large section of the audience. Fairly or unfairly, Rachel's glare has become cultural shorthand for everything. Fans are tired of disdain for source material, lectures disguised as scripts, and marketing campaigns that feel more like scolding sessions and celebration. There are awkward moments, and then there are moments so painfully symbolic they end up defining an entire PR disaster. For Rachel's glare, that moment came when she walked into a nearly empty theater to celebrate her own movie's release, accidentally giving the internet one of its most brutal memes of the year. She posted a short Instagram story, bouquet of flowers in hand, walking into the cinema like it was a mini red carpet event, but behind her were rows and rows of empty seats, barely a handful of scattered viewers. No buzz, no excitement, just silence. The internet noticed fast. Within hours, TikTok was flooded with edits of the clip. Some joked that Rachel had brought flowers to her own career's funeral. Others stitched her walk into empty theaters. With Family Guy's Disney stock plummeting, roller coaster Reddit threads popped up titled "The Loneliest Premiere in Disney History." Twitter piled on with memes calling it Snow White in the 7 empty seats. Behind the memes and empty theaters, insiders say a deeper resentment has been simmering for many longtime Disney fans. Rachel's glare became the face of a bigger frustration: Hollywood's obsession with identity politics over storytelling. It started with her casting. Snow White has traditionally been described, from the Brothers Grimm to Disney's own 1937 animated classic, as having skin as white as snow. When Disney cast a Latina actress, it immediately sparked controversy. Some fans celebrated the move as progress, but a loud, passionate segment of the audience saw it differently. They weren't angry about representation itself. They were angry at what they perceived as rewriting a classic character while simultaneously treating the original as problematic. And Rachel's interviews didn't help. Rather than expressing excitement for bringing her own spirit to the role, she openly criticized the original Snow White story, calling it weird, labeling the prince a stalker, and hinting that the classic love story needed to be scrapped just when you think the roasting might finally cool down. Insiders say the next blow could already be looming from The Simpsons, the longest-running and arguably most culturally trusted animated series in television history, if they take aim at the Snow White disaster, it won't just be another meme. It could be the final nail in the fairy tale coffin, because when The Simpsons joins a roast, it doesn't feel like internet noise anymore. It feels like history being written in yellow ink broadcasted to millions locked into the DN.